This is a story from the Pali Canon, from the earliest recorded teachings of the Buddha, about a monk with questions and an arrow. Malankya was a monk who had been sitting alone one afternoon, turning something over and over in his mind until it had become, in the way things do when you sit with them too long, unbearable. The Buddha had never answered the great questions. Was the cosmos eternal or not? Was it finite or infinite? Was the soul the same as the body or different? What happened to an enlightened being after death? These were the questions that every serious philosopher of his time had positions on. And the Buddha, the greatest teacher he had ever encountered, had simply never addressed them. Malankya made a decision. He would go to the Buddha and demand answers. And if the Buddha refused, he would leave the monastery and return to his previous life. He found the Buddha sitting quietly and put his case directly. The questions, the silence, the ultimatum. The Buddha listened. Then he asked, Malankya, when you came to me, did I ever promise to answer these questions? Did you come to me saying you would follow me only if I answered them? Malankya had to admit no. Neither promise had been made. Good, the Buddha said. Now let me tell you a story. Suppose a man was wounded by an arrow thickly smeared with poison. His friends brought a surgeon to treat him immediately. And the man said, I will not let you remove this arrow until I know whether the man who shot me was a warrior or a priest or a merchant or a worker. And I will not let you remove this arrow until I know his name and his family and whether he was tall or short or of middle height. And I will not let you remove this arrow until I know whether the bow was made of wood or cane and whether the bowstring was hemp or sinew. And I will not let you remove this arrow until I know whether the feathers were from a vulture or a hawk or a peacock. And I will not let you remove this arrow until I know whether the arrowhead was barbed or curved or calf-toothed or straight. That man, Malankya, would die, and none of his questions would have been answered. The Buddha looked at him. I have not told you whether the cosmos is eternal because it does not help you. Whether the world is eternal or not, there is still birth, old age, death, grief, suffering, and despair. And these, the overcoming of these, is what I teach. What I have declared is suffering, the cause of suffering, the end of suffering, and the path that leads there. This is useful. The arrow is not. We all have our unanswered questions. The ones we have been turning over so long, they have become the furniture of our minds. Always there, always unresolved, always demanding attention before we can get on with what actually needs doing. Why did this happen to me? What is the meaning of all of this? What comes after? Is any of it fair? The Buddha is not saying these questions are foolish. He is saying something more practical and more uncomfortable. That the arrow is in you right now. And you are asking about the feathers. The surgeon is waiting. I'll leave you with one question today. What arrow are you refusing to remove? Until you have answered a question that may never be answered. This has been The Long Thread, Ancient Stories for the Present Moment. If this story stayed with you, follow the long thread and wake up to a new one tomorrow.